Hello, welcome back. It's been a minute. Maybe I should adjust my camera before I hit record, but anyway, welcome back. It's been a minute because, well, we were on vacation to the Outer Banks with Ted's family. Then we went to Philly to see my family. My mom threw us our engagement party, and then we've been back for a week, but I've been so jet lagged, and today I'm feeling better. So here I am. I decided not to bring my camera with me because sometimes this is why I'm a bad content creator, influencer, whatever you want to call what I do, it doesn't matter. Because I have trouble sharing like the more exciting moments of my life, I guess. But yeah, I just wanted to be like present. I feel like the older I get, the more I just like appreciate just being with family, just having like a normal vacation without having to document everything. But anyway, that's where I was, and now I'm back, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of makeup on while I chat with you guys and catch you up on my life. YSL sent me their Touche Éclat. I don't know why they're like pushing this again, but I was like, I wouldn't have purchased this. I was like really into this so many years ago when it like first came out in like 2006 or something crazy. I feel like it's changed a little since then. I remember it being super sheer, and it's still sheer, but it definitely has coverage. Anyway, this has been perfect in this 95-degree weather because I can't stand to have anything on my face. Like the second I put even like a tinted moisturizer on, I regret it. It's just too much. So I just have my sunscreen, and then I've just been putting this on just to like brighten up. And look at that. Hello? This is shade 1, by the way. So thank you, YSL. And now I'm gonna have to buy this when I run out. So thank you, but not. I did a little face tan last night. I'm just using the Isle of Paradise drops in the light shade, and so I've been putting a couple, because I used the medium on my body like honestly only when I like go on vacation, so I used it when I went away, but I have the medium drops for my face, and they always like make me look dirty, so I was like, I'll try the light, and I feel like it's perfect. Like I don't look tan, it just like gave me some life, you know. I'm gonna cover up this pimple. I thought it was actually a blackhead, and it was like a really deep one, so I had to like really get in there. So wait, also got this Refi eyebrow. I bought this. They sent it to me in PR like a while ago, like last year or something, and it became like my favorite brow product. But especially as it dries out, it gets like really white and flaky, and in like if you have like light brows, that should be fine, but mine are dark. But I will say this, I missed it, and I got it again, and now I can't believe I ever went without, because it's just, nothing holds my brows up like this. They look so good, I don't even have to fill them in. So but my only thing I don't like about it, besides that, is that the brushes that comes with, just a spoolie, please, for the love of God. So I just bought this one yesterday from Elf. It was like $2. It's just a spoolie, so now I just do that. And I just brush out the white, and then they become like fluffy, but these bitches are not gonna move all day. Okay. Oh, okay, one more thing I wanna show you. Glossier sent me their new, I love the cloud paints. I haven't used them in so long, but they sent me their new colors. This one is Soar, and I've been using it a lot because look at this pink. And it's really good for like, it doesn't feel like anything on your skin. It's like a stain almost. So anyway, okay. When we got home, Wizard had like a little medical emergency, and thank God, it literally happened the morning after we got back, and thank God he waited until then to have a medical emergency, because that's like my biggest fear when we go away, is him having like an emergency or being sick and I'm not there, because I swear to God, like he's like my baby, and I feel like I just know, I can tell when I'm looking at him. Do you guys remember when we went to Vancouver last year and Wizard got really sick? Like his his insulin was not being administered correctly. And I was really worried, but everyone who was like watching him was like, he's fine, he's doing great, he's normal. And I was like, send me a picture of him. And I could tell, I saw it in the fucking photo. I was like, send me a picture of his face. I was like, he's sick, we gotta go. We have to go. And he was in DKA, diabetic ketoacidosis. Had to be hospitalized, it was a whole thing. I know my baby, okay? So this is what happened. So we get home, everything's normal. The next morning, he wakes us up for breakfast, like he always does. He eats breakfast, I give him his insulin, and shortly after that, he starts acting really weird. But if you didn't know him, you would be like, oh, he's just acting like a cat. But he was like sniffing around the house, sniffing, like he was hunting something, but he was so obsessed and preoccupied with it that we were like, this is so weird for him. Like, he doesn't hunt like that, especially like in his older age. Like, that's just not something he does. So we were like, maybe we have a mouse in the house or something. Like, he's tracking something. But he was like, so the only two things he cared about is like he would go back to his food and then he'd go right back to the sniffing. Like, he was like a hound dog. Like, around every surface. He was going under furniture, coming out with like cobwebs on him, because I guess we don't really clean under that, but whatever. And we don't let him go outside when we're gone either, because, you know, we let him in the backyard supervised with us, but when we go away, we don't want to like put that, like if anything were to go wrong, we just play it safe. And so we don't let him go outside when we're not there. So usually when we get back from a trip, he's itching, like he's dying to go outside. And so after breakfast, that's usually when we let him, he has breakfast, then we let him go outside, roam around for a little while. So we opened the door and he didn't even care. Like, he was still like sniffing. So we're like, this is really strange. Eventually he does go outside, but he's still sniffing. Like, he's sniffing on the ground, he's sniffing on the side of the house. Like, he's not doing his normal stuff. Then he starts panting. And it was really hot. It's been like 95 degrees. It wasn't that hot that day. It was probably like 90, 89, whatever. But he was only out for not even like 2 minutes. And he started panting. And he's normally like, we live in LA, like it's hot in the summers, like he's used to it. So it's not, that was just really unusual. So he's panting, he's still eating, and he's still sniffing. And I can see like his belly is like rising and falling really fast. So that's when I was like, something is wrong. So I'm like, let me test his blood sugar. It was 50, okay? That's like, call 911. So, I was like freaked out, but I remained calm. I know what to do. He's never actually had a hypoglycemic episode, but I've kept this information in my back pocket for the last 6 years, and I knew what to do. And so because he was still eating his food, I squirted like a couple tablespoons of honey into it, mixed it in, gave it to him while we're on the phone with, we called our vet, and then we called the emergency vet. And we're like checking him in essentially. We're like about to bring him in. And as he's eating, literally the second he's done, it's like within 5 minutes, I'm on the phone checking him in. He's eating that honey mixture. And then all of a sudden he's done and the behavior stopped. It was like night and day. Suddenly he's like, let me outside. Like, what's going on? Like, stop the sniffing, stop the panting. I tested his blood sugar again. It came up to 89. So I was like, okay, we're out of the woods. So ultimately what happened is we didn't end up having to take him into the emergency room. Thank God. His blood sugar got low, but we were able to get it back up. And then I monitored it the rest of the day, and his behavior never returned. His blood sugar never dropped back down. But I did speak to his regular doctor later, and essentially he was like, cats can go into remission. And he's not in full remission. Like, he's still diabetic, but he's healing himself. So his diabetes is like not as bad as it was, and so he just needed a dose adjustment. So we adjusted his dose, and he's been fine. But can you fucking imagine? This is like my worst fear. This is why like I get so much anxiety. One of the reasons I get so much anxiety when I leave, because I'm like, my baby, I'm the only one who's supposed to kick my baby. Because even Ted, like, he knows him, but when he was like sniffing and stuff, like he was like, he's probably fine. And I was like, no, he's not. I know my son. Anyway, so he's better, and maybe something like that did happen while we were gone, and no one thought to like clock it as anything unusual, but luckily he was fine. But yeah, that was really scary, and that was just like, there's always something. There's always something. I honestly, like, I hope he doesn't go into full remission, only because they can get diabetes again. And so I just would be afraid. It's like, at least when he's diabetic, it's like, I know what to do. But if he were to like be in remission from diabetes, and then once he gets it, it's like it takes them a while to start showing symptoms of being sick. Like, they can't like talk to you and be like, hey, I'm feeling a little like woozy. So I would be afraid of something, you know, him going into DKA again. So I would prefer him to just have a better case of diabetes than none at all at this point in his life. So, because we know how to manage that and keep him healthy. But anyway, that's what's going on. And now I'm looking at my garden. Oh my god, that was another thing. Whenever I leave, because we leave in the summer, we go on this trip every year, and so my garden suffers tremendously because I have my beds on a timer, and so they get watered. But a lot of time in these like heat waves like we're having now, I still have to go out and hand water them in addition to, plus I have pots that have like watering stakes in them, but again, it's not enough. They need supplemental watering. And so I always do like leave instructions, but if you're not like a gardener, you know, you don't always know what to look for. And so I came back, my strawberries were dead. My strawberries were dead. And so were my sunflowers and like a few other things. And so I had to like go in and like do some damage control. And now I've had to water, usually I water like twice a week, but in this heat, I've had to do it every single day, sometimes twice a day. And so now I'm looking at my flowers and they're like slumped over, and I'm like, I just goddamn watered you, but it's just too hot for them. And so I've got too many living beings that I have to take care of, you know? But I love it. I've decided like I'm ready to upgrade my gardening situation. And I think I'm gonna get new beds next season, because there's no point in like doing it now. Like, things are still growing. Not everything's growing super well. Like I don't know. But anyway, the reason is because my beds, you know, I got just like starter beds. They're really small. They're like narrow and like shallow. So they're only like 10 inches deep. And so the root system can only go so deep. And so I can only get so much from my garden. And I'm just like, I feel I have advanced beyond that. I'm ready for like some big kahunas, you know? So I think I'm gonna upgrade my beds next season to like deeper, like 2-foot tall ones. And I just feel like it's gonna take off. It's gonna be so good. All right, let's go take a look. I'll give you a little garden tour. Okay, I'm opening the door. Lizard's gonna like, he was just asleep, and he's like, you going outside? I'm not letting them outside today for like the past few days with this heat wave. I can't do it. It's too hot. But anyway, here we go. We've got some flowers. So these are all like sunflowers and stuff, but they keeled over. So I planted some zinnias. These I actually did plant from seeds. I think these are zinnias, but they grew so freaking tall. Anyway, some of these were hurting, but they're doing okay. Some celotias I got. This was my only sunflower that made it. It's because it hadn't bloomed yet, and it's literally thriving. I forget what these are, but look at my strawberries. I had like 50 berries on these when I left, so I cut away like all the best that I could, and I'm hoping they'll, I don't know, we'll see. I'm really upset though, because these were ever bearing, which means most of the time the varieties are June bearing, or you know, and they only bloom once a year. But these would bloom all year, which is perfect for California because we don't really get frost. But I don't know. But they are like, you know, they grow fast, and so like these little leaves are like sprouting here, and so I hope they'll come back. I'm keeping an eye. More zinnias. My jasmine's looking good. It's crawling. These, I forget what these are. Daisies? I don't remember. But every day I water them and they like bloom out and they look so pretty, and then the next morning they're like sad like this again because they're so hot. My precious, look how big it's getting. My passion fruit. And we've got a lot of fruits. We've got this, there's one there, this one's about to be one. I've got a bunch on the other side. They're like my favorite fruit ever, and so I'm really excited for this. And I would have been just devastated if that died, but it luckily was doing great when I got back. But I would have been just devastated because this I got like a year ago, so it already like was already producing. They like last for like 8 years, and so like it just would have been a huge loss. I mean, look at how big it is. Anyway, I just planted some green onion, which are doing fine. That was actually, there was nothing in there. My lemon tree is looking pretty good. This has been like sad for like the past year, but it's like slowly but surely healing itself. I've been like fertilizing it and stuff, and look, there's a little tiny lemon. I'm pulling it off because it's not gonna become a lemon. It's too young, but it's getting there. My blueberries, I had so many blueberries. This was the first year I got blueberries and it was really exciting. Next year will be even better. Luckily these were fine. These survived. I do need to fertilize them a bit. But yeah, these are, again, these will just keep getting better and better each year, so I would have been devastated to lose them. Look at freaking these. So sad. I need to water them. This was my hydrangea that I've had for a couple years. This was really sad. I'm not super worried about it though, because this happened in a heat wave last year as well. I cut it all back, and then this year they came back like better than ever. And so I think, look, it's like still, it's growing back. So I think it'll be fine. It's perennial. It'll keep coming back as long as it didn't like fully die, which it didn't. The only thing that's like really thriving in my garden is this tomato plant. Like, got this like little cherry tomato variety. This one's not, I haven't seen a single tomato. These you would think, okay, zucchini popping off hasn't given me one. Not one. I see the little fruits down there and they'll get fertilized and then nothing. I don't know. I think again, it's like they need a deeper root system. I don't know. Never been able to grow one. Cucumbers, this was the one. So I got a new cucumber. So that's the healthy looking one. And then that's the one that suffered while we were gone. But I'm leaving it because it is flowering and it's still alive. So we'll see what happens. I got a new zucchini started over here because I was like, maybe it's too crowded. I'll do one over here. This was arugula. And then, what is this? No, this is lettuce. Maybe this was lettuce. I thought this was arugula. I don't know. Sometimes things like go to seed and they pop off and I don't know what it is. But I think this was arugula. And now it's going to seed and I'm going to let it do its thing. And then I'll get some arugula. Our corn. See, this is the thing. It's like corn needs like deep roots. And so it grew, but not nearly as tall as it needs to be. And there's corn. But they're like so many. So this is the best it's going to be. I see something eating my corn. Should we take a look at one? Let's look. Let's see. Oh my gosh. How cute. I mean, I'll still eat this. It's just gonna be like 2 bites. I'll get this one too. A bounty. Okay, so I planted some new lettuce. It's just way too hot. Even though this is like the shaded bed, so this is where I put like lettuce and things that are sensitive to heat, but look at them. Sad, 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 sad. Okay, this was my celery. Just miserable. But here's some celery back here that is fine, and I think it's because it's shaded by that, but that's dead. Weirdly, this is lettuce that just appeared from like a rogue seed, and that one's doing fine. And this one's in the full sun. So you just never know what you're gonna get. This is a mini cantaloupe. I've never been able to get a melon. Never. They need to be pollinated, and we have a lot of pollinators, but oh, no fucking way. Look at this. Oh my God. I spoke too soon. That's a cantaloupe. I'm freaking out. peppers, they like the heat, but they're doing okay. Again, they just need longer roots. What's this? I think that's a cucumber. I don't know where that came from. Anyway, that's what's going on. Oh yeah, and then we have a kumquat tree. We inherited this from somebody who was moving. I don't even like kumquats, I'll be honest, but I love it. I love it. It produces lots of kumquats, and that's fun. And I don't do anything with them. Maybe I could like give them to somebody. Anyway, I gotta get some watering action going on. Wait, do you guys remember this cactus? From like, if you've been following me on YouTube for a long time, I bought this cactus like literally 6 years ago from Lowe's. It was literally this big. It was $20, and you guys used to call it like the penis cactus because it, like, as it was growing, it was like really awkwardly shaped. It used to be in my apartment. It's like 6 feet tall. It's so exciting. So this is like my baby. I'm just getting all the spider webs off of it. I barely have to do anything to it. I think if I like potted up, got like a bigger pot, it would probably just keep growing, but I'm kind of just containing it right now because I don't know, like, having to move it someday will be a killer, but I got it here, but it's like grown a foot since then, so I don't know, I'm kind of containing it for now because one day I'll let it go, reach its full potential, whatever that may be. I mean, they can get insane. So I'm just like, this is my pride and joy. All right. This is why I can't wear makeup. You can't see, but I'm literally dripping sweat down the side of my face. Okay, I need water. You know what's saving my life these days? True lemon packets. You guys. I was literally only outside for 10 minutes. Okay, True Lemon, not sponsored. This whole video is not sponsored by anything. Just by my love of these. True Lemon, I got these off Amazon. It's literally just one packet is like, well, they say it's equivalent to one lemon wedge, but I think it's more like half of a lemon. But it's crystallized lemon, so there's no, like, nothing artificial in it. It's literally just like a lemon that was crystallized, and I put it in my waters. And you're thinking, like, couldn't you just squeeze a lemon in it? It's like, yeah, but who has the time or the energy, you know? I took them with me on vacation. I had lemon water every day, on the road, on the plane, everywhere, lemon water. I'm like waiting to like develop an ulcer, but hasn't happened yet. Okay. Even my air conditioning like won't go above, let's see what it's at right now. It's like so scary that we don't have the infrastructure to support global warming. Oh. Anyway, our air conditioning won't go above, what's it at right now? 77. Which it feels fine, it's fine, but like I like it to be at like 73. And that's, I mean, if I really had my way and didn't have to pay for it, it would be like 70. But it's really hot. I was gonna go to the studio today because it's Friday and I do studio Fridays, but they have air conditioning there, I think, but it's like a big warehouse. There's no goddamn way with all those people and in the warehouse and with the kiln, easily 88 degrees in there, I'm sure. I haven't even gone, but I just know it. So I'm thinking about just doing some hand building at home, or maybe I'll start going like late or early before it gets super hot. I don't know, I need to figure it out. I didn't plan well today because I got up at 11. Look at these cats. Oh, lazy bones. If they don't go outside, this is what they do all day. They're just like in that stage of life where they're like This is what I do now. Maybe. Hello. Hello, baby girl. Oh, Wizard. Hi. I love Flat Wizard. Flat Wizard is a phenomenon that happens in this house where he lays on the side of his face, and then when he gets up, it's flat. This one isn't like a full-blown Flat Wizard, but it happens often, and we love it. They like don't know what to do. They're like, turn the temperature down outside. But he'll literally, you know what Wizard does when it's hot? He goes on a bush on the side of the house, or like in the backyard, but along the house. There are these like big bushes, and he'll sleep. He'll lay behind one on the ground, and the ground's usually a little damp from like, we have like sprinklers that go on for like the landscaping, and so it's usually a little damp, and like it's completely shaded by the bush, and he'll just lay in there if we let him for 5 hours. Sometimes I'll go out there, peek, check on him, and he's like, I'm good. And I'm just like, he's couldn't be happier. Couldn't be happier. But when it gets, I'm like, I have a cutoff. If it's above 90, you guys gotta stay in here. You're old. What do you want me to do? I'm not even old and I can't go out there. But okay, I'm gonna go for a bit and do some reading, and I'll check back in later. Okay, we are on our way to see Barbie. Ted was mad at me. Not really mad at me, but he was like, you have to wear pink, you have to wear pink. And he was like pulling things out of my closet. It doesn't go with the movie vibe. There's like a freaking whole like Western long sleeve heavy dress from Fashion Brand Company. I'm like, I'm not wearing this to the movies. And I don't have a pink cardigan, so I got this blue fuzzy one. I was like, this is Barbie. You don't know. It's not just pink. Anyway, so I put pink clips in my hair, and I'm taking my Susan Alexandra bag. Then he gets in the car wearing a black t-shirt, and I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm a guy. This is guy Barbie. No. So I made him go in and change. And here he comes. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. Now that's a Ken outfit. I was a big Barbie fan when I was young. Like, loved Barbies. Actually enjoyed this incredibly millennial photo of me on Christmas morning opening up a new Barbie. In my hand you'll see a Pop-Tart, and behind me I just opened some new Rugrats luggage. And I have my new Barbie. So doesn't get much better than that, I'll tell you. Guys, it's like a week later. I'm so sorry. You know how it is. Ted went camping today for the next couple days, so I'm sitting here in my house just talking to myself, to the cats. I'm like, I need to vlog. I'm going insane. I had a Diet Coke today. Yeah. So, bouncing off the walls. Might as well have been a cold brew, if you ask me. Anywho, Barbie movie, amazing. We've all seen it at this point, right? It was so good, I loved it. Look at these new perfumes. Decent Durga DM'd me on TikTok like a month ago. I was like, would you like us to send you some stuff? And I was like, more than you could ever know. And so they did. They sent me these two. I gave them like a bunch of fragrances that I was interested in. I was like, surprise me. And so they surprised me with these two. Rockaway Beach. I've had my eye on it. I've been so curious. It smells so different than I thought. I thought it was gonna be like really beachy, kind of tropical. Like one of the notes is suntan lotion. I'm not getting that. I'll tell you what I'm getting. Very green. I'm getting something crisp. It's like pointy. You know what I mean? Do you ever like see shapes when you smell a perfume? Like some of them are round. Some of them are like, you know, that's this. Spiky, pointy. Concrete. Hear me out. Concrete after the rain. Okay. You know their scent concrete after lightning or whatever. That's really what it smells like. I'm like, do you think they like, because that's just a candle scent, I think. Candle and like car scent. And this is what it smells like. That's exactly what it smells like. Concrete after lightning or something. But it smells like that. It smells like wet pavement, like salty air, ocean breeze, but it's like cool, cold, like cold beach day. Storm rolling in. Beautiful. This, did not expect to love this as much as I do. I smelled this, a sample of this a long time ago, and I was like, oh, whatever. Because at the time, I didn't like fig. Fig has grown on me exponentially. I wouldn't say I'm like a big fig fan, but I've got some figs in my repertoire because it's grown on me. It has to be like the right kind of fig. It can't be like, there's a certain fig that like hits you in the back of your throat and you're like, it makes me nauseous. It's gotta have enough green to it to make it a little like, a little biting. Less, like a less ripe fig, you know what I mean? Okay, and this does it. And coconut milk. I wore this all day yesterday and I kept smelling myself and I was like, the way it dries down, like it starts off very green fig and then dries down to like very coconut milky, but it's not sweet gourmand. It's like just what I said. Anyway, love it. And then I just opened a package. I'm sorry I opened both of these packages on TikTok and I apologize. I'm not trying to snub you. I'm just, it's the balance, you know? It's the balance. Sometimes I'm like, should I do this on TikTok? Should I do it on YouTube? Anyway, so go over there if you want to see like the full, but this is more interesting anyway. I'm giving you more over here. So anyway, then Dead Cool reached out. I've been doing some fragrance TikToks and boy, is it paying off. Because then Dead Cool reached out and we're like, you want anything? And I was like, you guys. Yes! And they just sent me, I just opened it, a little lip balm. Didn't even know they had lip balm. I thought they were strictly perfume. Sent me their perfume samples, which I already have this discovery set from a long time ago. And I really like, there's some interesting things in here, but never bought full size. Red Dakota car freshener. I am such a sucker for car fresheners. I had the whole pack of the Dias and Durga car fresheners, $60. $60 for like 5. Look, is that responsible? No. But if they smell so good, I love a luxury car freshener. Like Glade, not cutting it. Anyway, so this is like my favorite of the samples that I have. Red Dakota, it's very like bergamot. It's very like, it's also a pointy one. It's a fresh, crisp. It reminds me of like a crisp, like citrusy cocktail. It smells so good. And then a laundry detergent, a mini size, in the scent Spring. This smells so good. This reminds me, and I hope they're not offended by this because I mean it with the biggest compliment I could muster. It smells like Cascade liquid dish detergent. That, like the old school one. Like I can remember in the 90s, my mom had it under the sink in the kitchen and I would huff it. I'd be like, you know when you're like, and just so the air comes out, I would do that and just huff it. And I would like, literally my eyes would roll back in my head. And my mom would be like, what the fuck are you doing? And I wasn't like getting high or anything, or I didn't think I was, but it was like the smell. There's certain smells and it's usually like something like that you're not supposed to be smelling, like gasoline, like dish soap. Although, what's wrong with that? You know what I mean? Gasoline, permanent marker, spray paint, like the ones that you smell and you're like, oh my God. This is what it reminds me of, the Cascade. It's not as like chemically as that. Like, it's just nice, but it's like that just strong, like soapy, kind of citrusy smell. It's like the bergamot, I think. That's what bergamot does for me. It's like, whenever there's like bergamot in a perfume and it's like very bergamot forward, I'm like that. It's crisp. And then they also gave me a room spray, but I already sprayed it and put it over there, and it's the milk, which weirdly, I can't smell the milk perfume, although everyone raves about it, but I'm really anosmic to a lot of those skin scents, like Molecule, Not Another Perfume, you know, all those. Although I can say, smell Not Another Perfume Super Dose, and I do have the travel spray and I love that. But I can smell the Milk Room Spray. So now I know what people are smelling and it smells really good, but I can't smell the perfume, weirdly. Anyway, I also got something from Laura Mercier. Don't worry about this. This is not my home address. People always like get nervous when I show it, but this is my P.O. box. So if anyone wanted to stalk me, go right ahead. It's a UPS and you'll be disappointed. Anyway, Laura Mercier. I mean, I'm excited. I have no clue what this could be. Reveal your rose glow with new Rose Glow liquid highlighter. Ooh, I love a nice little card, a handwritten. Look at that. Someone sat down with perfect penmanship and wrote this out. It's just so thoughtful. I prefer when brands do this rather than send like a whole like gimmicky thing that you have to like throw away in 10 seconds. Okay, this looks gorge. Oh, I see. We're doing something like, you know who. But you know what? I'm not mad about it. We've got champagne pink, gold glow, and peach bronze. Let's try it on. Because I'll tell you what, I don't like the you know who's ones. So let's see if these are better. The other ones are just so much more glittery. Okay, yeah. This is what I like in a highlight. I like something that's just dewy and glowy, but isn't like highlightery. Gorgeous. Okay, love it. Okay, that's it. That's all I got. That's all I got. I had the dopamine. I've decided to stop shopping. And listen, I've said it before, I know, but I'm back on my bullshit. I'm back. I'm stopping. Stop. I am. Because I don't have any money. We're paying, like, this wedding stuff is out of control. It's everything they said it would be. It's everything everyone warned me about. And you just don't listen. I literally got in a fight with my brother once because he was like in the process of planning a wedding and then the pandemic hit and then they eloped. Good for them, you know? But he was like, when I started planning my wedding, I was like, I'm gonna do it for $30,000. And he was like, good fucking luck. And I was like, you don't know. He was like, double that. I was like, you're literally a jerk. Don't ask me what our budget's at right now. Okay, because why when you Google what's the average cost of a wedding, it says $30,000. Okay, where? Not in California. Anyway, that's all my stuff. Now I have to put it away. You guys want to know what I did today? Talking about how I'm spending less money. Was like, I woke up so early this morning and I did not go to bed early. So I was like, I'm gonna need some caffeine today. Because normally I don't do caffeine because it gives me anxiety. But some days you're desperate. And so on those days I'll have like an iced tea or a Diet Coke. Today, I was really craving a Diet Coke. So I went to the gas station where they have like fountain drinks. Got a Diet Coke. Standing in line to pay. Take a little sip. Why is it flat? It literally tasted like flat syrup in water. It was bad. Did I say, excuse me sir, I'm sorry, but I was gonna get this, but it's actually really flat. There's something wrong with your machine, and dump it out and then leave? No. I went up and I said, I'll take this, thank you. And I paid for it. And then I left, and then I drove down the street and went into McDonald's drive-thru, and I got myself another one. Yeah. I mean, it was $1.50, but what are you gonna do? Every little bit counts. I just couldn't muster up the courage, frankly. I was scared. Baby, get off the counter. Get off. Get off. Down. Can't have anything nice. Yeah, so now I'm absolutely wired. And nothing to show for it. Absolutely nothing. Okay, so I've been on, okay, so last time you guys saw me, okay, so the day we were going to the Barbie movie, it's actually almost a week. Today's Thursday, so it's the next Thursday. That was the day I started the decrease of my current medication, Prestige, and increased my new old medication, Cymbalta. And so far so good. I will say this to all my folks out there, all my SSRI and especially my SNRI folks, if you ever need something for those withdrawal symptoms, those brain zaps, let's say you forget to take your medication, more importantly when you're increasing or decreasing, fish oil. Fish oil. It's the only thing that's ever worked for me. It doesn't completely take them away, but I have not had one single brain zap. I do feel like I'm like half a frame behind, you know? Like you're just kind of, I'm lagging a little. But it was like day 2 was the worst, and it wasn't even that bad. Like I would say a scale of 1 to 10 was like 4. And it's just gotten progressively better since. Not noticing a diff yet because, you know, there's some adjustments. I picture my brain being like, you know, as it's adjusting, and so then it needs to like level out and really feel like, where are we at? Plus I just got my period today, and I'm always super anxious and have like loud OCD around my period, so I just can't judge anything right now, even though I want to. I'm very judgmental. I don't know, fingers crossed. Wouldn't this be interesting to go back on Old Faithful and have it still working? But there's always like that, it's so hard. There's always that like fear that I'm like, I'm gonna come off Prestige and I'm gonna be on Cymbalta and it's not gonna work. And then I'm gonna bottom out. But you know what? At least I know I can go back on Prestige. No big deal. Or we can try something else. It's just my life. Alright, you guys really want to know why I need to stop shopping? It's because I need to pay off my credit card. You're like, say no more. I get it. But there's more. So that I can get Botox. I was like, Ted was like, why do you want that? I was like, dummy. Okay, for my wrinkles. And he was like, you don't have any wrinkles. Man, I'd love to see myself through his eyes, you know? He'd probably also be like, you haven't gained any weight 70 pounds later. Okay, so they don't look so bad today, but you know what I really want to do? I want to do it to kind of try and phase out my tic. I want to like train out my tic. And I'm starting to get a line right here, and I'm getting some lines right here, and you can't see them because the camera, because it's like good lighting, but I'm telling you, they're there. You know it when you like go your whole life not having wrinkles, and then suddenly you wake up and you're like, so that never, that wasn't there before. And wrinkles are fine, but like, you know, this is like doing that over and over. It's annoying. It smears my mascara, for one. 2, people constantly are like, what's wrong with you? They're not, but they're thinking it, and you guys say it sometimes. But also, yeah, I would like to train it out and not have the wrinkles from my tic. And you know what? Insurance should cover it. I didn't choose to be mentally ill. But yeah, so that's what I want to do. But I gotta be responsible at least a little bit and pay off my credit card first. It's not terrible, but I've also not been working very much. I'm just, okay, when I'm a full-time content creator, and when I'm feeling really good in my life, I make a lot more content because I just feel good, and I'm like being creative, I'm feeling like connection with my community, with you guys, you know, and just like I'm kind of on the move, and I get more work because I guess I don't know for sure how this works, but I imagine like for a lot of brands, like fashion brands, beauty brands, whatever, there is a team of people whose job it is to like find talent for campaigns, right? And they do that by searching, by going on TikTok, by going on Twitter, or Instagram, YouTube, whatever. And if I'm not posting consistent content, then I'm not coming up on their feed. I'm not kind of in their on their radar. Oh Jesus. You know, and so that has hurt me many a times where I'm not getting a lot of work because I've kind of been inconsistent, or I disappear for a long period of time because I'm like, I'm depressed, or I'm anxious, or I'm like, you know, I just get down on myself, and when I don't feel good, I have a harder time being consistent. And so my goal is to be more consistent, because I'll tell you what, it's kind of a circle, it's a cycle. I don't feel good, I don't make content, I don't feel good, you know, it goes around and around. Sometimes you gotta like, it's like when you're depressed and you don't want to leave the house, but sometimes you gotta force yourself out, and then you're like, oh, I'm actually having a good time, and now I feel less depressed. It's like that. Make content, feel the connection, feel better. Make more content because you feel better, and then you feel better because you make, anyway. Some people might not agree, but I think I work in a creative field. I mean, it's not the most creative. It's not like I'm here like doing this like crazy art or anything, but it's entertainment, you know. I feel fulfilled when I do it because I get to talk about the things that I love. I get to talk about the things I'm passionate about and my life and what's going on or whatever. So I feel creatively fulfilled when I'm making content. And so that's what I mean. It's not like, I don't know. I feel this like really deep embarrassment a lot of the times when I'm talk about my career, because I feel like it's so unserious, and that doesn't mean that it's worthless though. I think there's like a stigma where I'm like, whatever. Anyway, shut the fuck up. So yeah, I'm trying to do that. So I have notifications on my phone where they pop up every day, and it's kind of like post a TikTok, post an Instagram story, just kind of like, and just do it. Like, I just can't think about it, right? Because sometimes when I think too much about it, I'm like, oh no, I'm not interesting. Oh, that's not good. And nobody cares about this. And that's just like, no time for that. You gotta have that completed notification. You know what I mean? The reminder pops up and I'm like, I gotta do it. Because I don't want that. I'm like, I don't like having notifications on my phone. Like, I'm not a person. You won't find, as I have 2 unread texts and an email. Great. Okay, sorry. I had a phone call earlier about our brunch. We're gonna do a brunch the day after our wedding. This thing is costing an arm and a leg, I'll tell you that. Because here's the deal, when you do a destination wedding, which technically it is, even though it's in Northern California. California is fucking huge, okay? So we're doing Northern California. Most of our friends are in LA, and so it's still a destination for them, even though it's not like, you know, huge travel. Most of our families are on the East Coast. So you can't invite people to your wedding and not feed them for the whole weekend. You know what I mean? And you can't just have like one day event. It's just not worth it. So we gotta do a welcome party and we gotta do a brunch after. And look, we wanted it to be a weekend thing because we're like, if we're gonna spend the money, if we're gonna have this big shebang, we're gonna make a weekend out of it. And it's gonna be a destination, and it's gonna be like a vacation, and it's gonna be fun. Rather than like shell it all out one day, it's over, bing bam boom, and then we go home. Ah! No. So anyway, I found a restaurant, and it's pretty much the only restaurant because this town is so goddamn small. This is like what we didn't think about going into it. Because there's just so few options. So this was the situation. It was like, we either have to have the brunch at the venue, and it was gonna cost so much money because we'd have to have our coordinator there, and we'd have to hire staff, because this is not like a company, our venue. It's like all like BYO. So we have to bring everything in, which is also another thing we didn't think about. We're not regretting it. It's just like, there was an easier way to do this and we were not aware of it. But no regrets. Anyway, it just makes things harder and more expensive. God damn it. So there's like one restaurant that we were able to have this brunch at, because we were like, would be so much easier to do it at a restaurant. Then they do it, they clean it up. It's like, you know what I mean? And we don't have to like outsource all this stuff. So I had like one shot. I emailed them. I was like, can you do a brunch event? And they just called me earlier and they were like, yeah. Isn't that great? Isn't that fantastic? And I keep having to be like, I get scared when I talk to vendors and stuff, and they're like, how many people? And I'm like 80. And they're like, oh, because all those places are small. And I'm like, but listen, we're inviting 80. I will be shocked if we get 80. Imagine inviting 80 people to a destination wedding and they're all like, we're there. I'm thinking 60. I'm thinking 60 max. And so I'm kind of being like 80, 85. You know? And also we're not doing kids. That's gotta knock out a bunch. I mean, the fact of the matter is we wanted a more intimate wedding. But we went over the list and over the list and over the list, and the smallest we could get it down to was 80. Because there was 80 people that we were just like, no, these are our favorite 80 people in the world and we want them there. So these people are gonna be the ones having to make the hard decisions. We can't make it. We already did. We had to cut out. I think when we like put all the people that we know that like we could potentially invite to a wedding, it was like 115 or something. It helps to have a lot of mutual friends. And so we got it down to 80, and that was, oh my God, it's hard. But of that, I think there's gonna be some hard losses because again, these are all of our favorite people. But when I think of just number wise, like 60 feels really good. I want it to feel more intimate, but also 80 is intimate. Anyway, but 60 will also be cheaper. We joke that we were gonna put no worries if not on our invitation. Just like no worries if not. Cause like when you plan a wedding, you realize you don't ever have to feel guilty about RSVPing no. Unless it's like your best friend, your sibling, whatever. You don't ever have to feel guilty, I'll tell you right now. If you're on the fence, if you're like, just say no. Send a card, send a gift if you want, if you feel really bad, but like just know that they're like, oh, bummer. But then like going back to the drawing board and being like, cross them out. What? Take a plate away. Yeah, it's rough. But anyway, that's pretty much the catch up. I don't got jack shit going on, except, you know, messing with my meds and planning a wedding and going broke. But I'm done shopping. I'm just done. Gotta pay off my credit card and then get some Botox and then pay it off again. And then rack it up again with some wedding stuff and then pay it off again. So I'll be doing that, a little song and dance for the next 18 months. All right, well, it's been great hanging with you guys. I'll see you in my next video. I'm really liking this highlighter. Thanks, Laura. We're on a first name basis. Thanks, Laura. All right, see you in my next video.